Everybody, welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video, we are going to do a very quick little update on Bitcoin and figure out exactly if Bitcoin is going to pump to, 60k. Are we going to get rejected here and continue the so-called bear market? If you want to figure out exactly which levels that I'm paying attention to for Bitcoin, then you're going to want to watch till the end of this video. And right before I dive right into it, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter at _the Art of Crypto, you're going to want to do so. This is where not only I'm sharing the latest market update, but I'm also sharing some NFT plays that I could be looking at. In this case, you're going to want to go over to my Twitter to have a read at this. And if you're interested, I'm going to leave the Discord link at the description box below, so just check it out. So immediately, let's dive right into Bitcoin. So I just discussed this with my private group today, but there are only two scenarios for Bitcoin right now. And if you guys know anything about the crypto markets, you know that Bitcoin's the mama bear. Everything follows Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to pump, then everything's going to pump. So it's really important that we understand what is going on with Bitcoin. So in this case, I actually only have two scenarios. And let's start off with the bullish scenario on Bitcoin. And that is, we are immediately going to go onto the weekly chart, and just right above this level, I'm just going to mark this down. I'm just going to extend this all the way out here. So the reason why I drew this box is because on the weekly chart, we had two very equal highs. Now, I'm sure somebody could go onto the daily chart and tell me, hey, that is not an equal high. But for all intensive purposes, on the weekly chart, this is an equal high. And the reason why this is very significant is because usually when you get equal highs or equal lows on the weekly chart, that means that that is an area where liquidity has built up above, and there is a good chance that price is going to try to reach for it. Now, if you've watched any of my videos from the last 2 weeks or so, you would understand that I was telling you guys not to short Bitcoin. And I was saying that Bitcoin is already in a bullish order flow on an institutional perspective. Now, if any of you remembers that, that's because 2 weeks ago, I saw that we broke through this equal high right here, right? All the liquidity that is built up here, we broke through it. And that's how I knew that, the price is attacking somewhere higher than, this block of liquidity here. As you can see, we cleared it out and we haven't got a retrace yet. So there is a good chance that price is going to reach for this next level of liquidity, which is right above 60k. Now, that is scenario number one, which is bullish. And, just vice versa, right? Similarly, price will reach for this double top right here because it's an area of liquidity. Just keep in mind that there is an area of pretty equal lows over at this area right here. So perhaps once we clear out over here, we're gonna come back down here. Although that is not very likely. If we really do attack this level, if we really do break above 60k, which I'm just gonna mark down on the chart right now, if we really do break 60k, then I expect Bitcoin to actually go to 100k or maybe even 200k. So that is scenario number one, right? And remember from the beginning of the video, I mentioned that there are only two scenarios that could happen. And right now, let's discuss scenario number two. So scenario number two is when we will need to draw a bearish order block, right? Again, everything is happening on the weekly chart right now. So if you're watching this video, a week after this has released, it will still apply basically. And before I do continue, right, if you have been following me on my Twitter, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that I will be raising my prices for the private group starting tomorrow. So I'm not trying to get you guys to FOMO in. This is more of just to protect my own mental sanity. I mean, go to my Twitter and check it out, but just giving you a heads up that the prices are going to go up starting from 11th of August, 12 p.m. EST. So that's going to be about a day and 2 hours from now. But anyways, the second scenario, which is going to be the bearish scenario for Bitcoin, is actually for Bitcoin to come into this order block. And if you're new to this channel, I always like to say bearish order blocks, right? Order blocks are simply areas of untapped liquidity where price is very likely to reach for. And in fact, if we just take a look at the VPVR real quick, you can see that indeed, this is where the volume, right, starts to pick up, right at the beginning of the bearish order block. So if we do break above 48k right here, if we do break above it, and potentially if we break 51k, then there's a very good chance that we are going straight to 55k-ish. But here is, forget all the bullish scenarios for now. Let's discuss the bearish scenario because that's what we're focusing on. And that is, usually, order blocks are areas where institutions like to push the price to. So, for example, over here is a bullish order block over here, but we are not going to discuss that right now. So, what happens usually on a bearish order block is you'll tend to see price go into the order block and then, get rejected real quick. So again, nothing is confirmed until it is confirmed. But if we do not break 60K, right? Again, 60K is going to be the level to watch. If we break 60K, we're going straight to 100K, maybe 200K. I do predict that 200K is somewhat the cycle top, but that only applies if we break 60K. If we get up here and you start seeing a distribution pattern, for example, a heads and shoulders pattern, or maybe a 3 drives pattern, and then the moment you see that happen, right, or you can follow the Wyckoff, schematic, Wyckoff distribution schematic. If you see something like a distribution pattern going on in this general area here between 60K and 48K, then you're going to want to be very, very careful. And you're actually going to want to sell off all your bags, because there is a good chance that if that happens, it means that this entire pump here was just a push in order to fill the inefficiencies left behind during this dump. And if you don't know what inefficiencies mean, you're going to want to check out the previous video that I did on Cardano ADA. Over there, I get really in depth into inefficiencies. But back to what I was saying, if this bearish order block does not get invalidated, which means it fills, right, you see a distribution pattern going on here and it starts dumping, then be 100% prepared to just sell off your bags here, because there is a very good chance, right? Of course, still too early to tell. Right now, I'm calling things pretty much like 8 to 12 weeks in advance. So things could change, and I'll definitely make a future update to this. But if you do get a distribution pattern going on here and it starts dumping, then fully expect Bitcoin to go back to 20K, right? 24K, 20K, somewhere about that region, right? And yes, if this happens, then we are going to be in a bear market. I know a lot of people do not like to hear that, but sometimes when I see it on the chart, I just have to give it to you, right, as it is. As for whether or not it will happen, again, wait for confirmation. So those are going to be the 2 scenarios that you're going to want to look at. And something else that I just wanted to point out is, if you just go to the Bitcoin stock to flow, you can see that the last time we were like, in this stage, orange, right, which is about, I don't know, 1,000 days before the next halving, right? The last time we were here, we actually just finished a pullback, right? About, let's see, from $200, and we pulled back down to about $94, $80, which is, it pretty much adds up to Bitcoin right now. We just did a 55% pullback from the all-time high, and it's pretty similar to the stock to flow chart. And just, historically speaking, this chart has never really been proven wrong. And if you just relate it back to this previous cycle here back in 2013, then you can see that we are just, this is just a pullback in an otherwise continued uptrend. And if things continue the way they if things continue the way they go, then we could easily see like a 200K or maybe even 300K Bitcoin. So are we bullish? Are we bearish? Honestly, just based off of stock to flow, I would say we are, leaning more towards bullish. So in this case, as long as we remain bullish, expect 60K to get broken. But if it doesn't, then you'll be prepared to know what to look out for. And if you break 60K, then, we're going to 100K, maybe 200K, baby. I'm not trying to be a moon boy here, but just telling you guys what is actually happening. Now, I'm not trying to be a moon boy here, but I'm just telling you guys there is a very good possibility of that happening. And if you feel like you've learned a thing or two in this video, it would help me so much if you could just drop a like button. It's a really small gesture, but it really helps a lot. And just a little bonus for every one of you watching here, you are going to want to go to, any random old chart. For example, I don't know, RSR. I'm just going to pull up like super random chart. You're going to want to look for this inefficiency in price. Again, if you don't know what this means, go watch the ADA video that I made. So there is an inefficiency in price from basically, like, let me just draw it out for you guys. If Bitcoin, right, similar theory to Bitcoin, where it will go and attack the equal highs on the weekly chart, then you can apply this concept to altcoins as well. Because assuming that Bitcoin is going to be bullish, then altcoins are going to go attack their previous highs as well on the weekly chart. Again, I'm doing my analysis on the weekly chart here. So make sure you keep an eye out for altcoins. This theory would apply pretty similarly. But of course, if you do want the latest, right, the latest real-time market updates, then you are absolutely going to want to check out the private Discord group. Over here, I'm active every single day, telling you guys, hey, this is a pretty good time to buy. Maybe the sentiment has changed. And if you've been watching my channel for a while and you feel like, hey, this guy seems to know what he's doing, he seems to be right a lot of the time, and if you just want to learn, exactly how I do this, the private Discord group is going to be for you, because over here I'm laying down everything that I know and everything that I've learned over the years to allow you to become a proficient trader. So if you're sick and tired of learning the things that don't work and you just want to discard, 90% of the things that don't work and learn the things that do, then you're going to want to check out the private Discord group. You know, as a bonus, you're going to get access to daily profitable trading setups where people are making some pretty good profit every single day, and there are already multiple people in this Discord group that have already paid off their membership in just a couple of trades. And just a very tiny heads up, you know, starting tomorrow the prices are going to increase. I'm not trying to get you guys the FOMO in here, okay? This is honestly, like, if you go to my Twitter, you will know why I'm doing this. It is more for my mental sanity than anything else. So with that said, my friend, if you watched until this point so far, just comment down in the comment section below, stock to flow, right? So that I know who are the real ones who've actually watched until this point, because trust me, most people would rather be watching Netflix or whatever than to be watching a video like this to figure out exactly what the market is going to reach for. So congratulations, right? Now you have a better understanding of what the market is likely to do. And with that said, my friend, may the gains be with you, and peace.